Hello and welcome everybody. Oh, I love this week. This is my favourite time of the year, National Storytelling Week. We've got people from Cape Town. We've got people from Birmingham. You are most welcome. Big up. It's so good, isn't it, this time of the year? Oh, so heartwarming. I love the wonder of words. I love stories. Hey, stories are so great. They can tangle us up into a tale and actually take us on an ocean. Put us in a forest. Hey, we can be right up there in the stars. Oh, it's so amazing. And I'm so glad you're here with me because stories are meant to be shared. And this storytelling week, I've been really fascinated by interconnections. And last night when I had my pajamas on, I just thought to myself, well, Alice in Wonderland, she gets to another world through the portal of a rabbit hole. And then I thought to myself, oh, there's another story with a portal, The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, and Lucy gets to Narnia through the portal of that. Oh, there's so many interconnections, but oh dear, just hold on a minute. I think we've got, okay, just wait there. I'll just go and answer the door. I'll just call, actually, we're busy, aren't we? Come in, who's that?
Hello, Mrs. C.
Oh, Grandpa.
Hello, children. Hello, everybody. I hope you're all having a wonderful week because it is storytelling week this week, Mrs. C.
Oh, yes, I was just saying that, actually. So don't just turn up late and tell everybody everything we've already been talking about.
Sorry, Mrs. C. I've just rushed back from St Winifred's RC Primary School, which is the school at the end of my road, because I've actually been telling some stories there this morning, Mrs. C.
I know, you're very good at telling stories. And I was just telling everybody about the fascinating world of stories, actually. How there are links and joins between stories. And guess
That's right, Mrs. C.
Yeah, guess what I was thinking about?
What, Mrs. C?
The big bad wolf. And guess what? The wolf is in, I bet you could guess what story the big bad wolf is in. Yeah, you're right. Three Little Pigs. Yeah, you're right too. Little Red Riding Hood. Do you like a big bad wolf?
Well, actually, Mrs. C, the wolf is a very common character used to help people make safe decisions. In actual fact, one of my favourite books is this one.
Oh, it's a bit big.
Well, I know, but
love
it is
it.
great, and it's got a brilliant story about a wolf by a brilliant author. You know a bit about her, don't you, Mrs. C?
Well, yes, Lauren Child was our Children's Laureate. In fact, we love to keep our eye on the Children's Laureate in National Storytelling Week. Oh, you got a new jumper?
Well, yes, but it's very cold outside, so I'm running off now because I've got to go pop to the library. I've got to do a story with a bunch of preschoolers, but then I'm going to come back and I will have
Well, hurry up, don't be late.
See you in a bit. Bye.
Well, I was just going to say, I do like your jumper.
Thank you.
It's like, is that for Valentine's Day?
Well, actually, it's for a date that I've got this evening.
Oh, right, well, tell me about that later. We've got
See you
too
later.
much
Bye-bye.
to do. We've got
Bye-bye.
a date later. She's all over the shop. She's been at the library. She's going there now. She's been at the school. Oh, dear. Actually, it's quite nice when Grandma's busy because we get a bit of quiet time. And I'm glad you're all settled. I hope you're comfy. We're going to be reading a story by this author. I don't know whether you know them. Their name is Mrs. C, also known as Jane Considine. Yes, and guess what? We have got a prize for everybody who is logging in today, because if you send us an email, if your teacher sends us an email to info@thetrainingspace.co.uk and you get an email to us by Monday the 10th of February 2025, then Mrs. C, and I don't know if Grandma is a bit busy, but I'll try and get Grandma to sign the book for you, and we'll send you a copy so you can have it in your school library to celebrate National Storytelling Week and actually to celebrate the wonder of words all year round. Well, here we are, settled down and settled in for our story. And our story today is called The Last Straw. Now, we were talking about interconnections, weren't we? And when I was young, at primary school, I wrote a poem about a sad scarecrow. And the lines in that poem were, his dry leaf voice no one could hear. As dawn broke again, he shed a tear. And the sadness of the scarecrow has stayed with me all of that time. And so much so that I wrote a story called The Last Straw. Now, I'm going to share those pictures with you and you're going to listen along. Are you ready? Here we go. Sophie was poorly. Her hospital wing was silent. There were no nurses' whispers mumbling in the ward. There were no frantic footsteps clunking along the corridors. Silence. And Sophie couldn't sleep. The moon lay awake with her, and Sophie slipped softly out of the sheets to a symphony of snores. She tiptoed to the window, and the world was holding its breath. Nothing moved. Then she saw it in the distance. It was something old and dishevelled, something very old and very dishevelled and very happy to see her. It was a scarecrow. And it waved. And Sophie waved back, and they became friends. Nurse Betty, who smelt nice and had candy floss hair, scooped Sophie back into bed and firmly tucked her in. Then later, the ward woke up and Sophie decided to write to the scarecrow. This was her letter. Dear Mr. Scarecrow, do you have any other friends? From Sophie. A crow knew the answer and he flew the letter to his friend. The scarecrow nodded and Sophie smiled. Later, Mum and Dad arrived and Dad bought Sophie a new notebook and told her a joke. Mum's eyes rolled. It was a dad joke. And Sophie was sure she saw the scarecrow's eyes roll too. Nurse Betty told them it was time for the operation. She held Sophie's hand and asked her to count backwards. 10, 9, 8, 7. I'll be right here when you wake up, said Nurse Betty. Dad pressed his lips hard and he whispered, I'll be right here too. Mum rolled her eyes and wiped the tears away quickly. When Sophie woke up, No one was there. The ward was in darkness, but framed under a moonbeam was her tatty friend. He winked, and Sophie blinked back. There were questions she needed to find the answer to. Dear Mr. Scarecrow, what are you thinking? From Sophie. And the crow caught the important question in his beak, and letters flew under the shared stars. They weaved wonderful words into the night until dawn broke. The next day, Mum stared at Sophie's pale face. Look, she will be tired, said Nurse Betty. Dad was staring out of the window at the steel machinery glinting on the horizon. He wasn't telling jokes today. The crow lowered his head and flew away. And the Scarecrow had really slumped. And Sophie sighed, and Nurse Betty put her arm around her. Yes, you see, said Nurse Betty. Next time you come for your checkup, that whole field, well, it'll be a supermarket. Oh, thought Sophie. That night, Sophie knew it was time to write her last letter. Dear Mr. Scarecrow, will I see you next time? From Sophie. Quick as a flick of a wing of a crow, he appeared with a piece of straw in his mouth. Oh, a present, thought Sophie, as it was dropped gently into her hand. Sophie could see the Scarecrow say something, but she couldn't hear his dry leaf voice. Sophie waved goodbye. That night, back at home, Sophie looked out of her bedroom window and just wished she could see her friend. And that night, Scarecrow looked into the hospital window and wished he could see his friend. And the moon looked down on both of them. And he wished too. Sophie knew they both shared the same starlit sky, but she did not feel any better. She decided to write a letter. Dad didn't understand at first, but then he realised. Dear Dad, I think this is the last straw. From Sophie. Then Dad, he had a great idea. Come on, Scarecrow, he said. Let's get you to your new home. Hey, and they told each other stories all the way home as the crow flew above the car. And when Sophie looks out of her garden window, she sees her friend every day. And occasionally, when she needs to go back into hospital, he tells her, I'll be right here when you come back. And he always is. Oh, children, Thank you for being with me to share a story. You are such great listeners. I am so proud of everything you do to bring the wonder of words to life. And remember, if your teacher sends us a photo of you loving our story for National Storytelling Week, then we will get a book into your little hands. Oh, I love stories. They really propel us to new places and we find out about lots of different things. And yeah, there's so many wonderful moments. Oh, yes. I think you know who that is. Okay.
Hello, Mrs. C.
Come in. I know you are.
No, I didn't tell you before I went.
Oh,
but
yes.
I've just read exactly the same story that you was reading to everybody
you?
in your story. Yes, and it reminded me because I've been in hospital quite a few times.
Oh, I know. That was sad, actually.
Yeah, sometimes it's sad, but I do like it. You can make lots of new friends, and the nurses and the doctors are all really, 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 really great. So sometimes it's bad, sometimes good. And of course, you get better when you're in hospital, Mrs. C.
But I was so worried, after Christmas last year.
On Boxing Day, yes.
Yeah, when you broke your ankle, I was so sad
Well,
for you.
Mrs. C, that was an accident because I might have had one or two sherries on Christmas Day.
Well, we don't need to tell everybody how much you were drinking. You know, we were just saying that we were just sad by it.
Yes, me too.
And remember, just keep the sherry to a minimum.
I always do, Mrs. C.
I know you do. I mean, just maybe cut down Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Talking of which,
Yes.
I've actually got a date for lunch, so I'm going to go. So I'm going to say bye to everybody and I'm going to say bye to you. So bye-bye, everybody. See you next time.
What's she going on a date? Oh, Grandma, you are incredible. I think sometimes Grandma has a more exciting life than me, honestly. Oh, well, I tell you what, this has been my favourite National Storytelling Week. I love it that you've been there. I love that I can give you a copy of my book. And do you know what? I've met so many of your teachers. I love them too, in a very professional way. Not like a grandma, fantastic way. Hey, I'm going to set you free now and enjoy the rest of this week. And enjoy tidying up your libraries. Enjoy doing what Grandma and I did last week, which was find all the red books, put them together, find all the blue books, put them together. Oh, we get so excited about books. We like to see all the patterns, whether it's characters, themes or colours. Oh, we really go for it. Thank you, everybody. Please get in touch so you can get your class a book and enjoy the magic of stories.